Here we have a little comparison video. This is all inspired by the Austin-Healey 3000 that I had picked up at a recent show here in Canada. It was near Toronto. And this little kit car made from this Aurora kit, which I reviewed previously not too long ago, but motorized, made into a slot car using the Penelope Pitlane chassis. It's got some added weights and such, but man, it's a great little runner, a lot of fun. I had to add driver and cockpit details and such, but other than that, it was really nicely modeled. Now, once having that, kind of dawned on me that I've got other Austin-Healey 3000s from various makes. And the one that first came to mind was this one here. Here's a very early Scalextric. Super nicely done. This one is in mint condition. I found this in a, not an auction, but online with a whole estate of many slot cars. And this was one of three Austin-Healeys that were mint in the box. And here is that box, nicely done. It's got the label here, Austin-Healey 3000, and it has the C74 Scalextric code on it. So nicely done. And this compares very favorably to the model kit. And then here, yeah, it's got a snap-in chassis, which was common at the time. It has that pin guide here, as opposed to a nice flag swivel guide. But motor's virtually brand new. Everything on here has never been touched, except for now that I've got it. Nothing, there are no shelf queens. Everything gets run in my collection, and this is no exception. What I am careful with is this rear bumper. If you do find them, usually the ends on that bumper are snapped off, and had a few close calls on my own track because it does snag on the fencing or anything around. So it's being really careful to keep this all in one piece and intact. But the main reason why I was chasing this is that I wanted to take a look at accuracy. What my interest in slot cars is not so much fast and furious racing and the latest fastest car and such, but being as proportionately scale accuracy and such. And man, these two are really excellent for that. If I take a good close look at these two cars, they are very, very similar in proportion, detail, accuracy. Really, really nice. And actually, they run quite similarly. Now, this one with the more updated Penelope pit stop chassis does run smoother, and it's got a good powerful motor. This one, still not too bad. It's a fun runner. And with this motor being virtually new, it does run surprisingly well and handles quite well. And even with that little peg of a guide there, it does stay in the slot and handles relatively well. Now, what I also remembered that I had, and I've got two of them, is Ninco. This was the first one I got because at the time I was running wood track with a group in Hamilton, and they had a rally class. So got this one as a rally car because it's got the two drivers all done up in that marking. Now I took the roof off just to save whatever I could on weight and try and keep the weight as low as possible. And with that class, yeah, I added some weights, and the rules there were changing out the motor to an 18 RPM blue motor, which I had done, and upgraded tires to the urethanes. And yeah, it's got a nice guide, actually runs really, really well, and super detailed. Really like the co-pilot there with the map leading the way. And this is Monte Carlo Rally signature on here for the replication of a car in that series, as opposed to this one here. Exact same chassis, very much the same details, except it has a cover over the cockpit, single driver. And this is that Carrera Panamericana Mexican race, but really is identical in every way to the other one, except for decoration and the piece over the cockpit. Now, I pre-opened this one up so we can take a look Yeah, it has a good size motor here. What is this? This is the Ninco Speedster, and I really can't see yeah, so 14.8 volt at 20,000 RPM. So yeah, good strong motor, runs really well. It does have a small button magnet near the front here, which actually is quite effective. It doesn't hinder the back end from coming out, which is most of the fun, but it does keep it kind of solid on the track, which is really nice. It's got all brass fittings in the back, but plastic gear, crown gear, but it is a metal pinion gear. But a nicely balanced car, works really, really well. But here's the thing that I really wanted to notice here in this comparison is when I look at this Scalextric as well as the model kit, I know the model kit's going to be pretty accurate in 1/32 scale in proportion. And surprisingly, the Scalextric is very much in proportion and in detail, very similar, which is great. But now if I take a look at this Ninco, yeah, it is much, much wider. It is really flattened out, widened for performance. This is for, again, this is the most modern of any of the slot cars. And the modern trend is for drivability and competition. And this Ninco is no different, and actually quite similar to the other Nincos of this era. They do some very nice vintage sort of cars and such, but really quite out of proportion. If I can line this up this way, you can see how much wider. Even the grille is much wider and spaced out. The size of the front hood is massive. Even the intake on that hood is so much larger and wider. They widen everything for that performance. Now this one didn't come with any bumpers on it, well, except for these little pieces here. So you don't have the worry of snagging the bumper edges and breaking anything off. This is a very robust car and works quite well, but it is huge. So if you're a purist, I don't know if I call myself a purist, it's just I really appreciate and like things to be as accurate as possible. Wheelbase is quite accurate. Length is quite accurate. The Ninco is a little bigger, but when you come to the width, not even close. And let me see if I can line up and take a look here. Yeah, you can see how much of a difference. So I've got this side pretty much lined up, but there's a good 1/4 of an inch width on here. And again, it certainly makes the car more stable. Now this one doesn't have a magnet. I took it out because that was the regulations for the wood track series we were running, unlike my other Ninco one that does have it. But it handles very well, and yeah, again, you get that back end out, and it performs very nice. What also is nice, it has a proper flag guide on it, which really helps the handling and getting the car around the track and keeping it in the slot. So there we go. I'll do a little quick on-track running of all three of these so you can get a sense of how they run in comparison. Now, mind you, this is the oldest of the bunch, but mint in the box. This one, old model kit, so it's probably as old, if not older, than this one, except it does have that Penelope Pit Stop, very nice metal chassis on here with a nice flag, which really makes this a lot of fun to run. And then we'll give a run of these two with the latest and greatest. Not that these are that new. They're still quite dear and hard to find and can be expensive. But yeah, they're a great little series. But all of the cars in the Ninco series are quite distorted for performance. Okay, so off to the track. Okay, track test time. First up is our Scalextric, and we'll give this a go. Not super quick, but a lot of fun. No magnet. Here we are, one more lap. Quite stable. I'm being careful, getting the back end out a little bit. There we go. Okay, next up is the Penelope Pitlane with the model kit top. Now this is a lot faster. This I've taken many takes to try and get this around the track. I've turned the voltage down even more. Let's see if I can make it around. Trying to be very careful on the throttle. although it can be a lot of fun. It speed, but not a whole lot of brakes. Get another lap in. But yeah, once you get accustomed to it, it's a lot of fun. And no magnet. There we go. So next up is the Ninco. This is the red one as opposed to the white one. I'll give that one a go next. Again, quite quick. I've turned the volume, the voltage up a bit. And lots of brake on this one. So they really have different characteristics. So this one I'm finding I'm stopping way short of the corners as I get used to how this car drives. But it does have a good bit of speed to it. I'm just taking it very easy and don't have the voltage way up. It's really stuck down. This one must have a magnet too. But I know this next one, the white one, that I'll get in here, definitely has a magnet up front, a button magnet, but everything else is pretty much the same. Actually, I think, no, yeah, this has a Ninco Speedster motor. Definitely quicker at this voltage. Wow, there's some back-end action. Don't have the braking effect that the other one has. Other than that, a really good fun runner. So there you go. 3 different manufacturers, 3 totally different handling cars, 2 very accurate in scale and proportion, and 1 totally out of proportion, but all still great fun to drive.